Well, on to the details now. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited an aid inspection point in Israel during his 7th visit to Israel since October 7th attack. The U.S. Secretary of State, along with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, visited the Kerem Shalom aid crossing and got the first up-close view of the Gaza Strip. Later, talking to media, Blinken said that progress on improving humanitarian access to Gaza was real, but it needed to be accelerated.
The progress is real, but given the need, given the immense need in Gaza, it needs to be accelerated, it needs to be sustained. And as we focus on all of the necessary inputs, the number of trucks that are moving, what matters the most is the impact.
Blinken also told reporters that Israel has made important compromises over a proposal for a deal that would see hostages released in exchange for a ceasefire, but it was up to Hamas to take that deal.
Israel has made very important compromises in the proposal that's on the table, demonstrating its desire and willingness to get this agreement and get it done. Now, as we've been saying, it's on Hamas. Hamas has to decide whether it will take this deal and actually advance the situation for the people that it purports to care about in Gaza. There is no time for delay. There's no time for further haggling. The deal is there. They should take it.
Well, reiterating U.S. stand on Rafah, the U.S. Secretary of State said that Washington will not support such an offensive.
On Rafah itself, look, our position is clear. It hasn't changed. It won't change. We will not support a major military operation in Rafah absent an effective plan to make sure that civilians are not harmed. And no, we have not seen such a plan.
The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Wednesday also made a brief stop at Kibbutz Nir Oz in southern Israel, where Hamas terrorists attacked on October 7, killing dozens of residents and kidnapping others. During his visit, accompanied by Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, Blinken went to the heavily damaged home of an American-Israeli family, all of whom, including 5-year-old twins, were killed in the assault. The conflict began when Hamas terrorists attacked Israel on October 7 last year, killing 1,200 people and abducting over 250 others. Also, U.S. President Joe Biden's administration faced renewed pressure on Wednesday from his fellow Democrats to influence Israel not to launch a full-scale military operation in Rafah. 57 of the 212 Democrats in the House of Representatives signed a letter calling on the administration to take every possible measure to dissuade Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government from military operation in the city near the Egyptian border. In the letter, Democrats urged Biden to invoke existing law and policy to immediately withhold a certain offensive military aid to the Israeli government, including aid sourced from legislation already signed into law, in order to preempt a full-scale operation on Rafah. An Israeli military released a video on Wednesday showing 8 trucks in southern Israel driving through the Erez crossing point into the northern Gaza. Israel reopened the Erez crossing into Gaza on Wednesday following U.S. demands to do more to address the growing humanitarian crisis in the enclave. The Erez crossing was destroyed during the Hamas attacks on October 7th and then remained closed. Israel announced it would reopen the crossing last month, a few days after Israeli airstrikes killed humanitarian workers delivering food aid in Gaza. The Israeli government reopened the additional crossing point on the same day that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, where he urged more aid deliveries into the territory. Meanwhile, India has once again reiterated its commitment to support a two-state solution where the Palestinian people are able to live freely in an independent country with due regard to the security needs of Israel. Delivering an address at the United Nations General Assembly meeting on Gaza, India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ruchira Kamboj, said that India's position on the conflict has been clear and has been stated on several occasions.
The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas has led to a large-scale loss of civilian lives, especially women and children, and a humanitarian crisis which is simply unacceptable. We have strongly condemned the deaths of civilians in the conflict. Only a two-state solution achieved through direct and meaningful negotiations between both sides on final status issues will deliver an enduring peace. India is committed to supporting a two-state solution where the Palestinian people are able to live freely in an independent country within secure borders with due regard to the security needs of Israel.
And Colombia's President Gustavo Petro on Wednesday announced that the South American nation will cut its diplomatic ties with Israel. During the International Workers' Day annual march, the Colombian president said that he will break diplomatic relations with Israel over its actions in Gaza. Israel's Foreign Minister, Israel Katz, condemned Colombia's announcement and accused President Petro of rewarding Hamas, saying he was siding with the most despicable monsters known to humanity. Katz, however, said the relations between both countries would remain warm despite the president's actions. And updates now on Russia-Ukraine conflict. Thick smoke was seen rising from a fire inside a postal depot in the Ukrainian port of Odessa on Thursday. A Russian ballistic missile was reported to have struck the facility, injuring 14 people. The video posted by Odessa's mayor, Gennady Trukhanov, showed billowing clouds of smoke rising as firefighters trained their horses on areas still ablaze. Most of the area appeared to have been reduced to a burnt debris. Odessa is a frequent target of Russian attacks and missiles. And Ukrainian artillery servicemen fighting in the country's east said they didn't have enough shells to counter Russian attacks as they waited for U.S. military aid to arrive. The soldiers serving in the 148th Artillery Brigade talked about irregular shell supply and insufficient rotation to get rest from frontline fighting. Earlier, NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg said the flow of arms and ammunition would now increase as the U.S. Congress have approved a Ukraine aid package worth more than $60 billion. And German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock and her Polish counterpart Radoslaw Sikorski met on the country's shared border on Wednesday to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Poland's accession to the EU. Poles and Germans are safer in the EU, said Sikorski, and said he appealed for younger generations not to allow this right to be a free Europe to be taken from them. Joschka Fischer and Włodzimierz Cimosz-Syrasik, who were respectively the foreign ministers of Germany and Poland in 2004, also took part in the anniversary celebrations. And in the ongoing discourse on women's rights in America, the conversation around abortion access has become a pivotal issue, with recent legislative changes sparking debates and discussions across the nation. Let's take a look at Sujata Lochib's report on the issue.
In a world where women's rights are a crucial part of the ongoing conversation, recent legislative changes in the states of Arizona and Florida have brought forth new discussions on reproductive rights and empowerment. 21 states in the US currently have restrictions on abortion, with some states enforcing stricter laws following the overturning of the Roe v. Wade decision in 2022. Roe v. Wade, which governed reproductive rights for nearly half a century until the Supreme Court overturned the decision. In some states, the fight over abortion access is still taking place in courtrooms, where advocates have sued to block restrictions and bans, whereas some other states have moved to expand access to abortion by adding legal protections. In Arizona, the state legislature made a significant move by voting to repeal a long-standing 1864 ban on nearly all abortions, showcasing a shift towards greater reproductive autonomy. This repeal, championed by Governor Katie Hobbs and supported by bipartisan efforts, signifies a step towards providing women with greater autonomy over their reproductive choices. On the other hand, Florida enforced a ban on abortions after about 6 weeks of pregnancy following a ruling by the state Supreme Court, a time frame before many women realize they are pregnant. It also said a ballot measure legalizing abortion until viability could be voted on this November, which could benefit Democrats in an election where abortion is a top issue nationwide.
Starting this morning, women in Florida became subject to an abortion ban so extreme it applies before many women even know they are pregnant, which, by the way, tells us the extremists who wrote this ban either don't know how a woman's body works or they simply don't care.
6-week ban, the heartbeat bill, as it's been called, is fantastic. I mean, it got bipartisan support.
I'm here because abortion has hurt me, and I certainly don't want to see other women hurt by abortion. They walk in the door and they never come out the same. No matter how they try to go on with life as normal, they'll never be the same.
It's sad. It's bleak.
Despite this, advocacy groups and lawmakers are trying to safeguard women's rights and ensure access to safe and legal reproductive health care in the state. As America grapples with the complexities of abortion rights and women's advocacy, the narrative is not only about legislative changes but also about the larger pursuit of gender, equality and empowerment. Sujata Lochab, DD India.
While campaigning for the US presidential election is well underway, especially in some swing states that are predicted to hold great importance in who will win between likely candidates, current President Joe Biden and the former President Donald Trump made it to Wisconsin and Michigan on Wednesday for rallies despite ongoing court cases. Biden is off to Delaware on Thursday to talk infrastructure and jobs in Michigan later this month. Let's take a look at DD India's correspondent Caroline Malone's report for more from Washington.
Former US President Donald Trump may be mid a major criminal trial in New York, but that didn't stop him from campaigning on Wednesday in other states. He made it to Wisconsin, where he spoke to crowds of supporters to address a number of critical issues to voters. He said it was a, quote, beautiful thing to watch to see New York police officers raiding a Columbia University building that had been occupied by pro-Palestinian students. He's called the protesters raging lunatics and Hamas sympathizers, and he described scenes as New York under siege and praised the officers for arresting about 300 people. While White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said that the Biden administration is looking into plans to relocate some Palestinian refugees related to US citizens. President Biden is also due to speak next week at the Holocaust Memorial event off the back of criticism he hasn't done enough to stop anti-Semitism at campuses. Well, on abortion issues, Trump said in Wisconsin that he supports his policy of letting states decide where they stand on it. Whereas Vice President Kamala Harris said from Jacksonville, Florida, that another Trump term would mean more suffering for women. That's also likely to be Biden's messaging when he rallies in other states later this month. First, though, he'll go to Wilmington, Delaware, to talk about projects to build better US infrastructure, how that will be good for creating jobs and for the US economy. Caroline Malone, Washington, for DD India.
And still to come in DD India News Hour. To elect the next mayor of London, mayoral election is due to be held today simultaneously with elections to the London Assembly. And Kenya continues to reel under devastating after effects of floods.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibility. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday, 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lepakshi Kuran, and moving on, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the nephew of the former President John J. Kennedy, is hoping to cause an upset in this year's U.S. presidential election. He's running for the White House with little chance of winning. But his presence in the race could be the biggest wild card in November's election and could lead to Joe Biden or Donald Trump losing votes in important swing states to this independent candidate. Nick Harper reports for more from Washington.
A new twist this morning for the country's most famous political dynasty.
He's got the name, he's got the money. Now Robert F. Kennedy needs the support. That's no easy task in a country dominated by two main parties, with two well-known established candidates, Democrat Joe Biden and Republican Donald Trump.
Of course, he's got the Kennedy last name and sort of royalty within the Democratic Party, but he's best known, I think, is other than for being a Kennedy, is known as a vaccine skeptic. There may be people that he brings out of the woodwork who are not naturally, in either party camp.
Kennedy bills himself as a truth teller, but his controversial views include promoting health misinformation and amplifying conspiracy theories, including that the CIA was responsible for the assassination of his uncle, President John F. Kennedy. But despite his views, Kennedy poses a threat, with the potential to pull votes away from Biden or Trump.
A vote for Joe Biden is a vote for our democracy and our decency.
Kennedy's own family, all Democrats, have criticised RFK, warning about his dangerous views, and publicly backing Biden. Kennedy's task is made even harder because he officially needs to get on the ballot in each of the 50 US states. That requires thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of signatures from supporters. And so far, he lacks that widespread support.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here with some great news. As of today, Nicole and I are officially on the ballot in California.
Confirmation of California this past week gives him a boost. But it's only the fourth state that he's qualified for. And experts say support for independent candidates usually declines closer to the election.
People get cold feet and they decide at the very end that they don't want to waste their vote. And it's not clear that voters would really approve or vote for somebody like this until we get down to Election Day.
Winning the White House is a mathematical impossibility for Kennedy, but he still has the potential to have the spoiler effect on the other campaigns, denying Biden or Trump the presidency. Nick Harper in Washington, reporting for DD India.
Migrants to be sent to Rwanda in the next 9 to 11 weeks. A law to pave the way for sending asylum seekers to Rwanda was approved by Parliament in April, and Sunak wants the first flights to take off in July. More than 7,500 migrants have arrived in England on small boats from France so far this year. 5 people died trying to make the crossing last week. Human rights charities and unions opposed to the policy are expected to launch fresh legal challenges to stop the flights from taking off after the UK Supreme Court declared the policy unlawful last year. And the 2024 London mayoral election is due to be held on the 2nd of May to elect the next mayor of London. It will take place simultaneously with elections to the London Assembly. The voting in this election will take place under the first past the post system for the first time, replacing the supplementary vote system. There are 8 other candidates in total. Delhi-born Indian candidate Tarun Gulati to also contest in the London mayoral election. The elected mayor to serve the unit for a period of 4 years. And residents living near Indonesia's Ruang volcano said they were aware of the mountain's eruption as they waited on Wednesday for the nation's military ship to evacuate them away from the volcano. Wednesday's eruption spewed lava and flows of ash clouds, prompted authorities to evacuate more than 12,000 people from the battered region. Authorities also raised the alert status of Ruang to the highest level earlier and warned the residents of tsunami. Well, the death toll from an expressway collapse in southern China has risen to 36. The incident caused over 20 vehicles to become trapped and involved a total of 54 people. Parts of Guangdong province has been record rains and flooding in the past 2 weeks. Heavy rains caused a stretch of road running from Mezao City towards Dabu County to cave in at around 2:10 a.m. on Wednesday. And in some more weather-related news, with bare hands and basic tools, desperate families dug through rubble searching for loved ones still missing after devastating floods swept through central Kenya this week, killing at least 48 people. Across Kenya, floods and landslides have killed 181 since March. Authorities have urged Kenyans living in low-lying areas to evacuate as heavier than usual rainfall is expected to persist. President of Kenya has deployed soldiers to aid search efforts, but the heavy machinery have not reached the battered region yet. And 10 people died and 21 are missing due to heavy rains this week in Brazil's southern state. Authorities reported over 1,400 displaced individuals in the wake of storms that led to rising river levels and flooding in various parts of the state. The officials predict a flooding risk across the entire state given the prospect of prolonged downpour in the coming days. The government is working to locate the missing and ensure safety in areas at risk. Well, the situation of forest fires in the Himalayan nation is getting worse day by day. Prolonged dry season ignites wildfires across Nepal. Authorities report that wildfires are currently taking place in around 165 places of 39 districts. With no forecast of immediate rain, forest fires are likely to continue further, as the weather forecast says that there will be no rain in the coming few days. And as temperatures continue to soar across eastern and southern regions of India, a heat wave has tightened its grip. The Indian Meteorological Department in its Thursday bulletin said the maximum temperatures in many areas, including Gangetic, West Bengal, East Jharkhand, North Odisha and Rayasalima, are likely to hover between 44 degrees centigrade and 47 degrees centigrade. The Weather Department has issued warnings for the next 5 days. In Gangetic, West Bengal, severe heat wave conditions are expected to persist, while parts of Odisha and Bihar will also have to continue to witness intense heat. Isolated pockets in sub-Himalayan West Bengal and Jharkhand are also likely to experience heat wave conditions for the next 5 days. The IMD also forecast a possibility of fairly widespread rainfall over several northeastern states, including Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya and others. This anticipated rainfall, accompanied by thunderstorms, lightning and gusty winds, is expected to provide some respite from the blistering heat in these regions. Also, India's southern state of Telangana is bracing for record high temperatures as mercury hit 44 degrees in some region. The Met Department forecasted heavy heat wave conditions to continue in the next 4-5 days with an orange alert. And Kriti Vadhera joins us from Delhi on this. Well, Kriti, orange alert sounded at some places in the south. Also, IMD says the wave could continue for another 4-5 days. What is IMD saying about extreme weather conditions? Kriti, we are not able to hear you. Kriti, can you please unmute yourself?
Good morning, Lepakshi. And yes, India is in the grip of severe heat wave this time. Generally, India faces heat conditions during the month of May and June. But this time, believe me, it's quite brutal for everyone around. And the temperature is soaring as high as 45 degrees Celsius in southern part of India when it comes to states like Telangana, Andhra, Orissa, Karnataka and specifically Kerala. Extreme weather conditions are visible there, and it is creating a discomfort, especially for the commuters traveling by road. And due to this severe heat condition, not just the travelers, but roadways, the railways have also been affected in a way, and power outages have also been reported in several parts of India. So through all this extreme heat conditions, heat wave conditions, entirely the nation is affected in some or the other way. And yes, with yesterday's press briefing of IMD, IMD has specifically given zones to different states, well as the southern and eastern part, which is facing the extreme heat condition, have been given as red zones. Then the other states have been assigned as orange zone, which are facing the extreme heat conditions. And to tell you here, when we talk about the extreme weather conditions, so the northern part of India, the Himalayan range, is having snowfall and rainfall at the same time, where the southern part of India is seeing extreme heat wave. And when we talk about the next 5 days, it has been declared that it's going to be extreme heat in eastern part of India as well. But at the same time, when we talk about the northeastern part of India, where Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, so in later part of the month, it is visible that there's prediction by IMD that there will be hailstorms, gusty winds, and rainfall as well for the northeast India.
Right.
So these are the highlights of yesterday's press briefing of India Meteorological Department to make Indians aware about the extreme weather conditions.
Right. Also, Kriti, as the third phase of elections around the corner, has IMD issued any advisories?
So when it comes to the elections and third phase polling, Lepakshi, IMD has been again and again repeatedly in their weekly briefing, they have been telling us that according to the states which are facing polls, special advisories are repeatedly as monthly, as weekly, and as day forecasts are being issued to the areas, keeping in mind the comfort of the voters who are coming to vote. So all this is being planned by IMD in coordination with ECI. So that's how they are planning for the polls as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Kriti, for this update. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. The United Kingdom gets its first Sikh court to resolve issues. The court will formally open on 1st of June and will deal with cases related to private family matters or community issues of Sikh community in Britain, located in London's Lincoln Inn. A Mexican town marked May Day with the annual donkey festival to honor the hard-working animal and maintain the decade-long tradition. The National Donkey Festival is a twist to the Labor Day in the 16th century rural Mexican town of Otumba. The festivity started with a polo game on donkey back and continued with a costume parade, a race and a braying contest to amuse fans from all over the country. And still to come in DD India News Hour. DD India's correspondents track the poll pulse of voters across the country. We'll tell you about the Tea tribe community, which comprises a major share of the workforce of Assam. And we'll pay tribute to legendary Satyajit Ray, remembering him on his birthday today.
In the world's largest election,
we help you feel the pulse of the nation.
I am Sakal Bhatt.
I am Shubhendu Ghosh.
This election season, join us on a journey of India.
We are in Assam. This is the tea city of India.
From down south, Tamil Nadu.
Discover the colors of democracy.
Gateway to northeast of India.
Coastal state of Kerala. Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lepakshi Kuran, and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visits Karim Shalom aid crossing, says progress on aid to Gaza is real but needs to be accelerated. Also visits site of October 7 killings in Israel. From Florida to Arizona, abortion politics dominate the 2024 U.S. presidential race. 6-week ban takes effect in Florida, while Arizona legislators repealed the 1864 law restricting the procedure. India witnessed high-octane campaign for third phase of general elections, with top leaders holding election rallies and roadshows in various constituencies. And in sports, top-seeded Jannik Sinner withdraws from Madrid Open due to injury. And now let's get to the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. While campaigning has intensified as the third phase of general elections is just 5 days away on 7th of May, leaders from various political parties are leaving no stone unturned to appeal voters to come out in large numbers and exercise their franchise. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to hold multiple public rallies in Western Indian state of Gujarat, while India's Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah will address multiple election rallies in North India's Uttar Pradesh. Bharatiya Janata Party National President JP Nadda will also address public meetings in Bihar, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. While Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will address public meetings in Uttar Pradesh's Itaha and Firozabad, he'll also hold a roadshow in Mainpuri. Also, the process of filing nomination papers is underway. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan will file nomination from Odisha's Sambalpur Lok Sabha seat on Thursday. BJP candidate from West Delhi, Kamaljeet Sehrewal, will also file a nomination papers for 25th of May polls. And leaders of opposition parties are also holding rallies and public meetings to garner support in favor of their party candidates. Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi will address public meetings in Chirimiri and Korba district of Chhattisgarh. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge will address a public rally in Karnataka's Shimoga on Thursday. Congress leader Sachin Pilot will address public rallies in Sarangarh, Simartal village and Bilaspur in Chhattisgarh. Rashtriya Janata Dal's Tejasvi Yadav will hold election campaign in Uttar Pradesh's Hasanpur, Bihar's Samastipur and Araria. Also, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's wife, Sunita Kejriwal, will address public meetings in Gujarat's Bharuch and Bhavnagar. Well, the Election Commission on Wednesday banned former Telangana Chief Minister and BRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao from campaigning for 48 hours. He was banned for making derogatory and objectionable statements against Congress. In a complaint filed with the ECI, TPCC Senior Vice President G. Niranjan claimed that Chandrasekhar Rao has disparaged and offended Congress lawmakers at a news conference in Sirikela. The comments were deemed by the ECI to be unverified accusations and derogatory remarks that could damage the opposition party's reputation and interfere with the fairness of the current electoral process. The poll authority indicated that if Rao does not respond within time, the Election Commission will take appropriate action against him. Well, the Tea tribe community of Assam is one such population of Assam which comprises a major share of the workforce of the state. Our correspondent Subina Roy takes you through the journey of Tea tribe community in Assam and their lives in the tea gardens.
एक कली दो पत्तियां नाजुक नाजुक उंगलियां.
Two Leaves and a Bud, a famous song made by renowned singer Bhupen Hazarika, famously represents the tea garden community workers of Assam, who comprise more than 40% of the population of Assam. The tea tribe community members had come to Assam from different parts of India around 200 years back, and these different tribes have amalgamated together to form a unique culture tapestry of their own.
So we have lots of problem, the labor problem, the so-and-so and house problem, salary problem. So this is, we trying to issue a message. We are trying to giving a message to all people, all workers, all staff, that we in future we going all togetherly, and we demand to Assam government and other associations which related from tea gardens, that workers and staffs, the fundamental right, which we trying to find our fundamental right. That means this is our beneficiary, and so we first time Moran Circle, SCKS and SCMS we decided to celebrate May Day in Koliapani Division, Athabari Tea Estate.
Okay. Assam, the land of tea gardens. It has over 1,000 tea gardens, and the tea garden workers forms around 40% of the population of Assam. And over the years, these tea tribes have formed a cultural tapestry where an amalgamation of cultures have formed. With DDK Dibrugarh team, Subina Roy, DD India.
And for more, we have our correspondents joining us from the ground itself. Shama Mishra from Mumbai, Tapas Bhattacharya from Kokrajhar, Assam, Akshay Dongre from Rajgarh in MP. Well, my first question to you, Shama. Polling for 11 Lok Sabha seats in Maharashtra will be held in the third phase. And among the high-profile seats that will go to polls are Baramati, Sangli, Satara, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg and Kolhapur. What all is planned and who are the key contestants there?
For starters, Dipakshi, we understand that Maharashtra, since it sends the maximum number of parliamentarians after Uttar Pradesh, so we understand that Maharashtra is going to polls in 5 phases, and this is the third phase, which is very important. We understand that, amongst these 11 seats that you have mentioned, Baramati, Satara, Kolhapur, Sangli, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, these are some of the most prestigious seats over here, and we are also seeing, as for preparations, a lot of campaigning has already happened and it is still going on. Yesterday also we did see that in these seats, we did see that Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, he was campaigning, and we've already seen Prime Minister's 7 rallies so far for these 11 constituencies. Every day we are seeing from MBA side also, which is the Mahavikas Aghadi, Sharad Pawar, Uddhav Thackeray and other people are also campaigning for their respective candidates of the constituencies. Baramati, as you've already mentioned, is a high-profile seat and is also called as the hot seat. So we understand over here it has always been, the bastion of Supriya Sule, who's the daughter of NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar, and she has been winning here 3 terms. She's been going out to people campaigning with what she's been doing and what she has done in these last 3 terms. Fielded against her is Sunetra Pawar, which is the wife of Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawar. We all know the NCP and Shiv Sena was divided recently, and some part of the party has joined opposition, some part is in the government. So we understand for the voters of Maharashtra, this is a little confusing situation because each party, each faction boasts of themselves as the real Shiv Sena or the real NCP. So the battle is really strong over here. So this is of Baramati. These 11 seats that we are talking about is spread across 3 geographical regions of Maharashtra. So it's Western Maharashtra, it's Marathwada, and it's also the famous Konkan region. So in Konkan, we are talking about Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, and we are also talking about Raigad. So in Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, we understand that Union Minister Narayan Rane, who has been the Rajya Sabha member, he is standing against Vinayak Raut, and Vinayak Raut is from the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray. So this competition is also tough, and likewise, all the 11 seats we are talking about is really going to go tough because there is a lot of changes that is taking place in Maharashtra. There's sympathy wave, there's Modi wave. So a lot of confusion and a lot of complex emotions is there in Maharashtra's political game.
All right. My second question to you, Tapas. In the third phase of the Lok Sabha polls in Assam, 4 seats are going to polls there, and 3 seats will see BJP allies in the fray, while the ruling party will fight the 4th one on its own symbol. Can you tell us about the campaigning there?
Absolutely. Lipakshi, let me put it this way, that Dhubri, Barpeta and Kokrajhar, these are the seats where BJP has tied up with the local bodies, especially, let's say, in Barpeta, they have tied up with the AGP, and AGP's Fani Bhushan Chaudhary is actually one of the leading contenders in this particular constituency. Although there is CPIM's Manoranjan Talukdar is also there, and Congress Deep Bayan is also there, but Mr. Fani Bhushan Chaudhary is a known name, and BJP thought that it's better that rather than making it a four-way fight, there is always a chance to coordinate with their allies, and AGP, they have tied up with AGP, and as I mentioned, he's a strong candidate, so they put their money where they believe that they can win the seat. All the 4 seats that we mentioned, apart from Guwahati, they are tying up with the allies in a hope that they will be able to win more seats. We spoke to CM Himanta Biswa, and he said that they're looking at 12 to 13 seats, winning at least 11 to 12 seats, can also go up to 13. So the idea is to garner as many votes as possible out of the 14 constituencies. Last time they won 9 seats, so they are looking forward to those seats. And you have to understand that places like, for instance, Dhubri, these are the places where BJP doesn't have much of a say, and that's one reason why they are coordinating with the local AGP candidate. It's the same with in Kokrajhar also. Kokrajhar, they have NDS ally, United People's Party Liberal. They have Jayanta Basumaturi as their candidate. It's a good candidate, but BJP decided to go ahead with that. But as I mentioned, these are very crucial states where BJP doesn't have much of a workforce, doesn't have much of a say. So it is imperative for them to have ally at their disposal. Congress, on the other hand, these are seats where Congress traditionally have a strong base, strong candidates also. So they are banking upon their background in these particular parliamentary constituencies.
All right. My third question to you, Akshay. MPs all set to hold the third round of voting. Zooming in the Royal Rajgarh seat, if we talk about you there, it comprises of 8 assembly constituency segments. Can you tell us about what all is going on there to entice the voters?
Can you repeat your question, Lipakshi? I could not hear you there.
Yeah, Akshay, as we know that you are in Rajgarh and MP is all set to woo the voters. What all is going on there to entice the voters?
Well, there is a clear competition here taking place in the state of Madhya Pradesh between the 2 national parties, that is the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Indian National Congress. And on almost all of the seats in Madhya Pradesh, there is this competition between these 2 national parties, but there are several other local factors as well, local parties as well. However, the major competition is between these 2. And if you look at the political scenario of Rajgarh especially, then from 2014, Rodmal Nagar has been the member of parliament from the constituency, but this time around he faces a tough competition from the former chief minister of the state of Madhya Pradesh, that is Mr. Digvijay Singh, who is contesting against Rodmal Nagar now. As far as how to woo the voters, there are campaigns happening, there are rallies that are taking place continuously, and the political leaders are in fact working round the clock to ensure that voters in fact cast their vote in their favor. Now, if we look at the political landscape of the state of Madhya Pradesh, then it has been a tough nut to crack for the Indian National Congress, especially in the last election where almost 28 out of 29 seats had gone to the BJP ahead of, in the earlier election in 2014, it was 27 out of 29 seats. So this time around as well, the Congress party has a tough competition coming in from a series of senior leaders like Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who has been the chief minister of the state for about 18 years. He has also served as 5-term as a member of parliament. He has been a 6-term MLA. That is Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan contesting from Vidisha. We have Union Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, who is contesting from Guna. Then we also have other leaders like Mr. Alok Sharma is contesting from Bhopal. And then this is one seat as far as Rajgarh is concerned where there can be a tough fight between the 2 candidates. the BJP candidate and the Indian National Congress candidate. So while the competition is tough, the BJP has placed its bet on the incumbent member of parliament, that is Mr. Rotmal Nagar. And that is why it remains to be seen that what is going to be the outcome. But as far as the campaigning is concerned, it's taking place round the clock to ensure that while the competition is going to be tough, it goes into their favor. So respective parties are trying for that same goal. But it remains to be seen that what is going to be the mood of the people from the state.
Right. Thank you so much for that information, Tapas, Sharma and Akshay. And moving on, legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray revolutionized Indian cinema. Born on 2nd of May in 1921 and in the then Calcutta, Ray was a man of many talents. Ray's debut film, Pather Panchali, is a masterpiece and still inspires filmmakers worldwide. Bestowed with the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, Satyajit Ray is also the first Indian to have received the honorary Oscar in 1992. DD India's Tanvi Taneja has more on this.
Such were the incredible celluloid skills of Satyajit Ray that renowned Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa once said that not to have seen the cinema of Satyajit Ray means existing in the world without seeing the sun or the moon. Not only did Ray hold audiences spellbound with his storytelling skills, he also catered to a diverse audience. In his early years, Ray worked as a visualizer and illustrator for advertising agencies, using that experience to hone his skills in visual storytelling. These experiences, along with his literary lineage and innate artistic talents, laid the foundations for the creation of the genius filmmaker in Satyajit Ray. Inspired by the works of Western filmmakers like Jean Renoir and Vittorio De Sica, Satyajit Ray made his first film, Pather Panchali, in 1955. Pather Panchali went on to define Indian cinema and won 11 international awards, including the Best Human Document Award at the 1956 Cannes Film Festival. The film, along with Aparajato and Apur Sansar, formed the Apur trilogy, a compelling Bengali series. Ray's attention to humanism and his meticulous control over his films set him apart as one of the greatest filmmakers of the 20th century.
Kajol, chole esho. Chole esho. Kajula!
Dadu bolbe.
Dadu jante parbe na. Dadu ke ami bolbo na. Esho.
Apart from the Apur trilogy, Jalsa Ghar, Mahanagar, Charulata, Janaranya and Aguntuk showcased Ray's ability to capture everyday life with complete authenticity and deep sincerity. Ray's versatility, for he was also a noted author, is showcased in the characters he created in the form of Detective Feluda and Professor Shonko. Besides winning a record 36 Indian National Film Awards and numerous awards at international film festivals, Ray was also the first Indian filmmaker to receive an honorary Academy Award in the year 1992. Eminent Iranian filmmaker Majid Majidi are among the numerous film personalities who have expressed their deep respect and profound admiration for Ray's cinematic creations. Today, on his birth anniversary, we once again remember and deeply appreciate this great filmmaker's cinematic skills and timeless celluloid creations. Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
Well, you're watching DD India News and time now for some sports news. Italian top seed Jannik Sinner pulled out of the Madrid Open on Wednesday due to a right hip injury. The world number 2 was due to face Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime in the quarterfinals on Thursday. Sinner was expected to play in Rome before the French Open begins later this month. Early on Tuesday, the reigning Australian Open champion fought from a set down to beat Russia's Karen Khachanov 5-7, 6-3, 6-3 in the last 16. And Borussia Dortmund's Nicholas Füllkrug fired in a first-half goal to seal a 1-0 victory over visitors Paris Saint-Germain in their Champions League semi-final first leg on Wednesday. Nico Schlotterbeck floated a pass into Füllkrug's path and the Germany forward controlled the ball with a perfect first touch in the 36th minute. Meanwhile, PSG improved after the break but twice hit the woodwork through Kylian Mbappe and Ashraf Hakimi on the rebound. The winners of the tie will face either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, who drew 2-2 in Tuesday's first leg in Germany.
I think we showed a very good game today, a narrow victory, but a deserved victory. We said that we wanted to take a small advantage into the second leg. There is still so much to play for. We know that next week's games will be a different story. We sense it today and we also sense it in Paris in the group stage. Our clear goal is to make it to the final. Nobody here is putting the brakes on any euphoria, but we want to praise next week. We will get the praise next week when we have earned it.
Wenn sie ihr Powerplay auf. Ich glaube, wir haben heute ein sehr gutes.
And in IPL, Punjab Kings beat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets on Wednesday to keep their slim playoff hopes alive in the Indian Premier League 2024. Chasing a target of 163, Johnny Bairstow's 46 off 30 and Raleigh Rosov's 43 off 23 helped PBKS reach home in 17.5 overs. Earlier, Ruturaj Gaikwad posed a 62 off 48 to lead CSK to 162 for 7 after getting an invitation to bat first. Meanwhile, Sunrisers Hyderabad will look to reignite against informed Rajasthan Royals in the 50th match of this season today. Despite their impressive performances early in the season, SRH have slipped to 5th position on the points table following consecutive losses against RCB and CSK. And Carlos Alcaraz's hopes of becoming the first player to win 3 straight Madrid Open titles came undone as the second seed lost to Andrei Rublev in the quarterfinals on Wednesday. Alcaraz lost to Russian 7th seed Rublev 4-6, 6-3, 6-2. The 20-year-old two-times Grand Slam champion was not at his best despite taking the opening set in 41 minutes. Meanwhile, Rublev put in a dominant performance to roar back and snap Alcaraz's 14-match winning streak. It will be Rublev's first semi-final in Madrid and he will face either American Taylor Fritz or Argentinian Francisco Cerundolo. Also, defending champion Aryna Sabalenka eased into the Madrid Open semi-finals with a dominant straight sets win over 17-year-old Russian Mira Andreeva on Wednesday. The Belarusian world number 2 did not face a breakpoint en route to 6-1, 6-4 win in 1 hour 19 minutes. Sabalenka will next face 4th seed Alina Rabanika of Kazakhstan in what will be their 9th career meeting and first in clay. And now let's take you to the western Indian state of Gujarat, where a laser show organized at the Atal Sarovar in Rajkot. The Atal Sarovar, which features a bird island, a beautiful nature park and fountains, was inaugurated on 1st of May on the occasion of Gujarat Divas. Alright, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lepakshi Kuran from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.